Hey, Yoni here. In today's video we'll talk about why the EU needs even stronger regulation on social media. The EU actually already has a lot of regulation on social media, but it's not enforced enough and more regulation is needed. I have been personally advocating for the ban of TikTok in the US and EU for a long time already. However, TikTok is not enough. TikTok is not the only platform that needs to be regulated or banned. As we've discussed before, Musk is using X to spread a lot of disinformation. Musk is also using his platform to try to interfere in European elections. At the same time, Zuckerberg went on Joe Rogan's show. During his interview, he showed a level of opportunism that's quite scary. It sounds like he's trying to turn Meta into some sort of new X. We need to find new solutions. We could just ask people to stop using these platforms, but that's not realistic. Most won't do it, so that's not a solution. There are multiple solutions, but none of them is perfect. We could, for example, launch a European platform that would compete with these American and Chinese platforms. Unfortunately, that will take too long. Even if we should really look into it, we cannot afford to wait that long, which means that we likely need more regulation. Luckily, there are a few regulation options that could work. Most of them would need to be combined for maximum effect. I'll give you a few, but let me know in the comments if you have some other ideas as well. The main one that comes to my mind and that is discussed quite a lot is algorithmic accountability. The EU could require companies to disclose how their algorithms work. We need to know how they promote content, especially when it's related to elections. Thanks to that, we could identify potential biases and manipulation attempts. And that could be regulated too. The EU could set rules on what is allowed and what is not allowed. Or the EU could, for instance, force these platforms to give more control to the users to decide on what they want to see. People could, for example, opt out of political ads. That's just an example. But algorithmic accountability would be key if we want to better regulate social media in Europe. When looking at regulation, we could also force more transparency. We could force platforms to be even more transparent about who pays for ads, especially political ads. Right now, the users don't really know where the money comes from. We could also have much stronger moderation guidelines. As those of you who use X have seen, the system of community notes doesn't work. It's too slow and disinformation has time to spread before community notes arrive. Meta is actually making a huge mistake by moving towards community notes. With community notes, the level of disinformation on X is at its highest. We could also have much harsher fines for platforms that are spreading disinformation. Another issue is bots. Right now, platforms like X don't really have a strong incentive to fight against bots. We could regulate that. We could also force more fact-checking through regulation. As I said earlier, there are many options, but none of them are perfect. These are just ideas, but we really need to do something. Finally, we could and should ban platforms that don't comply. Until now, we have not been enforcing the existing regulation on social media platforms enough. I'm not a specialist in this field and these are just simple ideas, but I've noticed that we've reached a point where something really needs to be done about this. And that's why I talk about it, and that's why I also want to hear your takes on it in the comments. What would be the best solution according to you? Well, that was it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. And if you have any idea of how to better regulate social media platforms, please comment on it. See you in the next video. Thank you.